What's going on, YouTube? It's about that time again. Now we tuned into Reality Talk News. Now, I'm looking at some suspicious stuff, been very, very suspicious about that body. Now, it was, now, I want to know what's going on. Why did the hell that his lungs and throat been removed before the body hit Washington, D.C.? Now, an independent autopsy report commissioned by the legal team representing Nolan Xavier family found that the teenager's cause of manner of death was undetermined pending investigation. Now, but the doctor who performed the autopsy said that the report that he could not rule out a foul play. According to the family's lawyer, Ben Crump, who revealed that his finding at a news conference Wednesday on the 117th NAACP National Convention in Chicago. So Ben Crump added the statement of the independent autopsy, which is a second one performed on Wells, will also found red discoloration of the back of his head. But the report appeared that the caps, because of what Crump said, were missing body parts and incomplete procedures. Now, which is the only part of the puzzle, if even though that to tell us the significant information, I still have more questions about we had answered this time, Crump said. Now, when the body got to DC, Dr. Roger Mitchell checked the body again. He looked through the body again, and he seen that it was no throat and his lungs. They was also missing. So the first autopsy that the lady, that it was a rumor, I believe she removed those lungs and that throat. Why did she do that? Why she did just keep that in attached to Northern Wales' body? So I'm gonna tell you something. It's been a whole lot of janky, shady, conniving shit going on in that town. I see why they moved the body to DC. And when they came in and told her they was moving the body, I guess that some kind of way, I don't know who told her to do this, but I'm gonna tell you, they all need to get in trouble for that. All of them need to get in trouble. All of them. That medical examiner needs to be fired. And I'm dead serious. Because ain't no way in hell you gonna remove a person's body part. So the only autopsy was performed by Dr. Roger Mitchell, a board certified forensic pathologist, and the president of National Medical Association, the oldest of the largest group of the black physicists in U.S., Crump says. It did not include a toxicology report, Crump said Wednesday. He said that the independent autopsy was performed July 10th, 6 days after Wells' disappearance and 4 days after the body was found on the northwestern shore of Horn Island, a small island of the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Now, the Jackson County coroner also performed an autopsy on the body of an 18-year-old football player. The results have not been released, and the coroner's office is awaiting on a toxicology report from the medical examiner office to be completed. So, the Jackson County coroner, Bruce Laird, says Tuesday that the state autopsy report was not finished. Now, what's taking them so long to finish the autopsy? What's going on? What's going on? Why if those lungs and that throat is gone? And why is they taking a long time for the autopsy? It shouldn't take that dang on long. I don't know. I don't know nothing about. I'm not a physiologist. I'm not a medical examiner or nothing like that. But those things, sometimes those medical examiners, it takes like a long time. Sometimes it could take a couple of months. It could take a year, or I don't know how it goes, but it could take possibly a couple of months. Hit the like button. So Mitchell could not determine whatever Wells was conclusions when he entered the water or how he ended up in the water, according to the report. Now, if it was accidental drowning, it's another judge will also said that he believed he got murdered and then been taken to that water. When you do an examination, everything comes with it. So if you take a body and lungs, heart, and whatever it is, parts of that body coming up missing, it's something going on. It's something fishy going on with this whole thing. If I'm gonna tell you one thing, the mama, which is that judge, she needs to get fired. The medical examiner is tampering evidence. She needs to be arrested and sentenced up to 18 months for the tampering evidence. And you need to be fired. And all those other people was there at that thing, at the 4th of July thing. They all need to be taken for questions. I don't give a damn. You have to go over their house. You got to get some. I want you knocking on doors. I want you to take everybody on there. I want to see some questions. I want to know answers. I want everybody at that damn interrogation room. I want everybody there. Because it don't make no damn sense that y'all sitting here and y'all not questioning these people after this body. This boy needs justice. Now, one person got on an interview to say his side of the story. But what he need to do, understand that, but what he need to do is you need to go say all that to the detective. Y'all need to go to the interview room and tell that to the detective. That woman that he was going to see, she needs to be questioned. And his other 3 friends was with him on that boat. They also need to be questioned. Whatever it takes, everybody need to be asking questions about that body. All this so underhanded, dirty, no good stuff they be doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with child situation, but this is a body involved, and it's time for everybody to be treated fairly. I don't give a damn what color you are. If your people was in this type of situation, I want to know who. I want to know everybody was around when this happened. I want everybody to go down to the question. We want investigation. I don't care if you white, black, Mexican, whatever, whoever. We need some investigation, or we need some justice, and they need to do some damn time. Anybody tampering, anybody putting their hands on something, needs to go to jail. Now I'm gonna tell you another thing. Why the hell you got to talk to those people when y'all went over there, got the phone and the keys? Why you got to please them for them to bring the keys? It looked like they refused to give up the keys and the phone. And they had to keep on begging and begging and begging and begging those people to give him his stuff. Let me tell you. And they go when it forced that brother. I don't know what the hell he talking about. Whatever he talking about. Well, he was living in my house for 3 years. But what that got to do with him going to that dang pool, or that lake? I mean that ocean out there. What that got to do with that? Because I know people turn on people all the time. Y'all turn on people. Y'all turn on people all the time. So now I'm gonna ask you a question. Now, why did y'all didn't go and report it? Why y'all came here to lawyer it up? Now I'm gonna ask you now. We're gonna go by what Ben Crump called Wells' condition before he entered the water. The crews of the master adding it would be utmost importance to be able to determine the cause of a manner of death. The lawyer also said that because the state autopsy rightfully removed and discrete each organ, Mitchell was able to direct observe well lungs for water intake to see it was inside of his stomach. See, this is why they took them lungs. This is why the first autopsy examiners took those lungs, removed the lungs and the throat, because they hiding something. Because they know exactly if those lungs and heart and lungs was attached to him and went to Dr. Roger Mitchell, then he would have knew already this boy been drowned. Without those lungs and that throat, we can't even tell. Now it's gonna be hard on him to figure out what's going on. Now they need to go up to that examining officer and get them lungs and that heart and hand them over. She needs to hand those lungs and throat over to Roger Mitchell, Dr. Robert Mitchell, because what you doing is you is tampering. You are tampering, and she needs to be going to jail and do 18 months because it feels like you in on it too. All y'all in on it. Now, also because the level of decomposition of Wells' body when Mitchell received it, Crump says it had not been determined whatever it was brushing. The report said to the note that it was prepared to be laceration fragments of Wells' body. Now, Wells last seen July 4th, sometimes in the afternoon, he had gone to the island, which is accessible only by a boat, to celebrate the holiday with friends. His friends had told police that when they had left early because the boat started taking on water, Wells told them he would stay and catch a ride back later with others. Now he told the friends, I will catch a ride back, because he was talking with a girl. He had a girl with him. Nolan Wells had a girl with him. So right now, let's charge to that girl. Let's go find her ass. Find that girl that he was with that day this is happening, and you need to ask her some questions. Now, and you tell her funky ass not to leave town. This is supposed to be like this. Now, Wells did not return home that night. His mother reported him missing around midnight. His body was found July 6th by a U.S. Park Ranger. Now, little else has been revealed about the circumstances surrounding his death, including the law enforcement leaving plenty of holes in case of a capture of nation attention. In the autopsy report presented by Crump Mitchell noticed that the parts of Wells' throat was not in his body when he received it for review. Therefore, the pathologist cannot rule out injury to the neck as a contributor of cause of this death, Crump says. Now, there you go. Why you think they removed his throat? Why you think they removed his throat out of his body? His throat was not in his body when he go in there and open it. So they cannot tell the injury he had in his body. The pathologist cannot tell now. It cannot rule that what happened to this boy's death. Hit the like button. This is what's going on right here. These people know exactly what they're doing to get away with shit. You see that? You see the difference? Now, Crump says again, calling on the local law officials to share with Mitchell their findings of the state autopsy. Now, when the throat and the lungs came up gone, Mitchell called right away. He called Ben Crump right away and tell him that the throat and the lungs is missing. Roger Mitchell called Ben Crump on the phone telling him the throat was missing out of his neck. Now, the first examiner, I believe they was tampering. Somebody went up there to told her to remove the throat. That's what I believe. Dr. Prior Bandaji, a board-certified forensic pathologist, said the second autopsy had inherited elimination because what body had went through during the initial exams. It was never going to be an intract or that the pristine state that you examine body. Now I'm going to tell you, those people up there are very corrupted. That's going to make a lot of black people leave Mississippi right there. That's going to make a lot of people leave Mississippi because they want Mississippi number white people. That's why they playing with this man's body, taking body parts off of his body so he won't be determined. They won't say they can tell if it's a murder or he drowned. You see the difference? They doing some old shady stuff. I don't understand that. Now, Bandrejay, whatever the name, I cannot pronounce this name, said that the usual of the secondary of independent examiner to not have access to the findings of the primary examination for an investigation because the law limited that it will be released publicly. Now, Crump added that Mitchell should be included when the Mississippi grand jury hears that it was a death investigation. So now they're gonna have to say all this. What they're gonna do when court hearing comes, they're gonna have to tell exactly what all had happened. They're gonna have evidence of they gotta bust out the evidence and all these type of things. Now before the results, Wells' parents Christine Wells Wansley and Elmore Wansley spoke at the NAACP convention. There are so many people out in the public asking for all these questions, but only questions that we have is what happened to our son. Wells Wansley says. She added that the facts in the state runs autopsy reports has not been released, and part of the reason why she and her family decided to move forward towards the independent autopsy. This is why they want to move. They want to do the independent autopsy because this is what the dirty stuff they doing at the examination office. You see the difference? Now, this is our hope, and our own local authorities will do what they need to do. But us having a preliminary autopsy result and hearing nothing from them is heartbreaking. And in sincerity, she said, which again, why we are here, why we have asked for this help. Now, if the autopsy results had came, you should have told them people right away. Y'all sit here like, oh, okay, we ain't gonna, okay, whatever. Because it's a black body. They don't give a damn. Hit the like button. They don't give a damn. They don't. So once we also echo call do the truth, nothing, that we just want honesty. We want to know what happened. We want to know what happened. That means they want to know what happened to our son. What happened? They want answers. And the things that you are telling us is not a character of our son. We know our son, he added. So the stuff you telling us, you're not telling us enough information. You're not telling us, they ain't got nothing to do of what's going on right now, but I want to focus on what happened to our son. Now, Crump and Wells' parents had rejected notions from the law enforcement that the teenager drowned, launching their own investigation into his death, including the autopsy. They had said that he was a good swimmer and an athlete built, and the story did not add up. He was a good swimmer. This guy know how to swim. This guy know how to swim right there. Hit the like button. But those who know Horn Island well told NBC that it would be not to be surprised to learn that Wells was quickly pulled into the current and drowned, especially on the western side of the island. So Crump on Wednesday called into a question where Wells' body was found, implied the whole while authorities have said he had found wearing only swim trunks, the United Cajun Navy, which is associated with search orphans, told the family that he was found wearing a t-shirt as well. So now, who put a t-shirt on a dead body? At first he had no shirt on. Now somebody put a shirt on him. So they need to take that shirt for examination too, for evidence. Brian Treasure in the Cajun Navy, however, dispute the claim after the news conference. I observed the body from the air, and he was visibly wearing only swim trunks that matches the photo of him taken that day. Treasure told NBC News, adding that the lawyer misrepresent what the agency he had specifically or private to the family. Reverend Ab Sharpton, former NFL turn-ons and active producer Tyler Perry has officially combined $125 for any information that leads to arrest and conviction of the responsible for Wells' death, Crump said in the Tuesday release. Now, there will be a $125,000 reward. Now, it's one boy on there wants to tell it all. He said whatever he said. He telling them they better tell it before I tell it. He said he better tell it before I tell it, and go and collect the $125,000 reward. If you got information, you might as well go and give them the information, because they ain't gonna say nothing. They gonna keep quiet like they always been do. So it's best for you to go and collect that $125,000 reward. You tell them what you want to know, and you place these assholes under arrest. Hit the like button. Wells was laid to rest Monday at the ceremony in his hometown of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. A party for his friends, family, and teammates followed. Nolan was such a gentle, comedy spirit about him. He had a way to make people feel seen, comfortable. Welcome and value. Wells Walmsley says during the funeral service at the Center Point Church, he will lift your confidence with just a few words and make you feel like you belong. Now, y'all better find out what's going on. Y'all better get that reward money. It's $125,000. Now, a couple of days from now, hopefully they add another $25,000, which is $150,000 to increase another $125,000 if you had to. Let's get some answers. Let's bring them people to justice. And force all those people was in on it, doing all this old dirty, underhanded, they needs to be arrested. That medical examiner needs to be arrested. That judge, she needs to be fired. She needs to be fired. And all those peoples around, when this happened, you need to bring them in for questioning. Everybody was on that picture the day before they went to Horn Island, need to be questioned as well. So we're going to find more updates about this. Thank you for watching Reality Talk News.